G'day, hi, and welcome. All right. Quick video. Okay, so this weekend there's going to be the Grandpa Ride. I will not be on the ride itself, but obviously I'm going to go there. It's at the neighboring town in Casablanca, and they're going to meet at the fire hall, and basically it's a run from Gatineau, somewhere in Gatineau, to it starts about 10 in the morning. I think it's $20 to be on the ride, and then they meet up here for lunch. They leave at 10. I'm going to have to take a hell of a route because it only takes like an hour to get there. So I guess they're going to take the long way around. Maybe they come up to 148 or whatever, and they'll end up in Cas. I can imagine there's going to be barbecue and prizes and all kinds of stuff like that. And there's going to be bikes extraordinary. Now, my question for all my fellow riders. Ooh, this is a good one. You can only pick one, and you can tell me down below and why, and share. There's not one's better, answer's better. Do you prefer bike rallies or bike runs? Meaning riding in the group, which is cool. That's very cool. I love riding in a group too. Or just, okay, here's the destination. Go just sightsee and look. I know everybody likes both of them, but you can only pick one. What kind of rider are you? Do you prefer a bike rally or a bike run? And check out my hat. Yeah. For me, I think I prefer bike rallies for some reason. I guess it's the mingling factor and just seeing the different bikes and, talking shop with people and stuff like that. For me, I prefer that. Although I do want to hit at least one good rally one good run this year. I'm probably going to wait till about September before I jump on it, just for money purposes or whatever. I'm a little bit tight budget, so. But also for the cooler weather. My bike being a fairing bike and not really what you would call an actual highway bike for long. A nice short run, maybe like less than 200K round trip. Would be probably ideal for me because at 220K on a sport bike, you definitely you're going to be stopping every hour. So I'm good for about non-stop, probably about 180, and then after 180, the foot starts coming off the peg, and you start stretching out the leg, and you start standing up, and you start getting the cramps and stuff like that. I think my most in one day on that bike was 220, but that was stopping on sporadically stopping or whatever. I'm also too one of those guys that when I get on the bike, I don't like to stop. Like I want to stop places, but I don't want to stop places. I don't know. Are you like that? Where it's just like, okay, I'm on the bike and it's just like I got it started. I'm riding. That looks like a cool place to stop. But I got to keep going. And then I do my round trip, and it just seems like I don't know what it is, but it seems like once I start, it's like I want to do the whole trip without getting on like iron butt style and just not get off the thing. If you've ever done an iron butt, that is my only iron butt that I did was from Ottawa out towards Pembroke, okay, on the 417, and then cutting across before Pembroke, which cut across to like Madawaska, and then you come in. Then I came into the 148 and came back on the 148, but then cut up onto the 105. Came up the 105. Okay, came up the 105 to here, to home, and is kind of around. I went through Luskville, all that, but it's like. It was kind of a round trip, but kind of a weird round trip. So it was kind of like one of those up, down, round, and then like this. And then came back down the 105 again. And that nonstop. It was 650 miles on my 1972 Beamer. And that was a fairly comfortable tour bike. But when I came to that first stop, I couldn't even feel my feet touching the ground. It was like I thought the bike was going to fall over. I couldn't feel my butt. It was the worst. But I was trying to run the bike out of gas. I topped it up and I said, okay, what does it take to run this bike out of gas? Because I was constantly, this is back in the 90s when it was 45 cents a liter, right? And I was like, okay, well, what does it take to run this bike out of gas? And it was like 450 miles before I hit the reserve. You know, and the bike was in miles per hour, so that's you know, by the time I hit the 600, you know, the tank you got 600 miles to a tank on that bike. It was unbelievable. The big freaking toaster tank on it. Yeah, it was, oh yeah, I was sore the next day, I tell you. But that was a good run. Other runs I've been on, I think I went on Rosie's run once. That was good. It was mostly Harleys, and I don't know if I had my Harley at the time or I still had the Beamer, but I went on it. But I knew all the guys, so they didn't care that I wasn't riding a Harley, you know. They were pretty cool. But then I used to go to Merlin's Bash all the time, which I don't know if he's still alive or not, but his birthday was in June, and he would have. That was more of a Harley rally, though. You didn't really show up with Japanese bikes there, though. It was, we'll say, he was the prospect for the club, a runner-up for the Outlaws motorcycle gang Ottawa chapter as a president. He was a runner-up, and he basically he had this farm out in Cumberland, and it'd be, I don't know, 200-300 bikes would just show up, and there was pig roasts and you know bike pulls, slow. I had my panhead there, and it was just such a fun rally. Everybody's, oh, there's that kid with the panhead. Oh my God. You know, everybody's talking to me because I had the panhead chopper or whatever. The only guy that got pulled over coming in was me. I don't know why. I guess they saw me and they were checking for papers. That was it. And it was like the only guy. Maybe I was the least intimidating looking there. I don't know what it was. But yeah, they didn't bug me. I had no Speedo on the chopper. It was like a 60s style, 70s style chopper, you know. Mini apes and, you know, longer front end and rigid frame, seat to frame, a little peanut tank. I missed that little bike. Sweetie. That was my bike, Sweetie. But anyway, yeah, that was my first bike rally, and it was, and I went a couple of times, and it was pretty good. And I gotta say, it was just, I don't know, it was meeting the people that I think really sold me on the rallies side of it. And then, of course, going to Daytona Beach in 1993. Yeah. I don't think anybody, cruising up and down Main Street would have been really cool. I didn't have a bike at that time, but it was the year after I got the bike. But that was in 93, so it was 94, I guess, when I got the first bike. I don't know, somewhere around that time. But anyway, Bike Week in Daytona Beach in 1993 was really, really, really cool. It was more meeting the people that I think really sold it for me. So, I don't know, you tell me, but mind you, I've been on some good runs where it wasn't really an organized run, it was just end up in the middle of two packs of bikes, and it's like, okay, well, this pack's meeting up with this pack, and I'm the monkey in the middle, okay, well, I'll just ride with them, you know, whatever. So, because I remember it was like, I looked in my mirror, and I just saw these little lights going like this, you know, it was like, okay, I look back, okay, there's a bunch of them, so I'm like, come on, you know, I'll head yous, and then I see a guy look in the mirror, like, so we brought, I think it was like 50 bikes, you know. I was like, the only sport bike there. It was pretty cool. But, or was that on the sport bike? No. Sorry, I'm lying to you. That was on my little LTD 440. That was a long time ago. Yeah, that wasn't recent. That was a long time ago, sorry. This year, I followed a couple of bikes, I think, last year. But they you know, you had the guy move out kind of, oh, you're not with us, you know, whatever. And then other guys, some guys are good about it, some guys are not, you know, like, it's strange. Like sometimes people just like to stick with their own crew, and I do understand that. One thing, and this is why, and I'll just end up on this, is when you're riding in a group with strangers, okay, you don't know who you're riding with, and you don't know if you're riding with that fool that's going to pull the wheelie riding directly beside you and wipe out and take you out, or, you know, the guy that hot dogs it everywhere, doesn't know how to ride in the group and can't manage the speed and ends up crashing into you. So I do understand why people cut people off like that. Maybe I'll make a separate video on that. Yeah, I'll do that. So the question is, do you prefer group rides or run, you know, group runs, or rallies? Tell me down below.